All right, we'll start formatting some of the elements inside of my composition here. First thing I want to do is just go ahead and do something with the text that I have here. Just kind of beef it up a little bit. If you go over here to the layers palette, you can see there's Tybee. That's the name of the word here, actually the line that I'm looking for. I'm going to double click on the text icon, and that will highlight the text here for me. I'm going to go and try to find a font that I want. Let's see here. What would be good? Maybe that font. Okay, that'll be perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead while I'm in here and bring the font up to like 24 points. That's good. And I'll say OK or click the Enter on my keyboard. I'll push V on my keyboard also to just get my selection tool or my pick tool. That's fine. I'm going to get Island here. I'll do the same thing. I'll go over and double click on the icon for the text for Island, and I'll find another font. Maybe something a little less crazy on that one. That's pretty crazy. Something a little simple. Let's try Garamond, but let's do it bold. I like that. And again, we'll make the font a little bigger. I'll go with 36 points. That's way too big. I'll go with 30 point. That's better. I'll push Enter on my keyboard or push the little check mark at the top. And I can move that into position. I like that. And the last thing I want to do is the Savannah, Georgia. I want to find a font for it, so I will double click again. This time I want to find something that's a little more scripty. So what font do I have here that might work for me? I'll go here at the top. I think there's some fun ones here. I don't like that one. Let me go to maybe that one. I like that one. Do the same thing. I'll go in and I will make it a little larger. And I'll say OK. All right, now that I have my text like I want it, I can start putting some special effects in there. The first thing that I want to do is on this Tybee text here, I'm going to double click on it and I want to change the color. So I can go over here to my color picker. I can click on it and you can see it changes into a eyedropper. So I can just look around my image, which I want to find one of this kind of a gray blue color. And you can see on the color palette over here what color it's picking up for you. And I think maybe something a little grayer there would be fine. I'm very indecisive today, looks like. I like that color. Okay, so I'm going to say OK. And you can see that if I push the check mark here, then it gives me that color. I'm also going to try to find a color for the word island. So I'll select that, double clicking on there, and go over here to the color picker, and I'm going to find a little more warmer color. I'm going to pick actually from the face right there, and I'm going to say OK. Push the Enter on your keyboard or just click the check, and that's what we've got. And then I think I'm going to keep the Savannah, Georgia. I'll just keep that black for right now. I might change it. You know what? I will change it. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And instead of going to my color picker over here, I'm just going to go here to the top. And I'm going to bring that up to white. And then I'll say OK. Click the check. And there we go. All right. Let's start doing some special effects. So I just selected the Tybee layer here, and I'm going to push Effect, and I'm going to first start with a stroke. All right, when I push stroke on there, it puts on a default color black in this case. I want to make that a different color that's actually in the composition. Again, I can use the eyedropper. I think I'm going to pick maybe, oh, I think that purple would be fine. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the color from Island around it. That might be fun. And then I'll just bring that up. Whoops, I have to say okay. And then I'll bring that up about like that. And then while I'm in this dialog box, I'm going to go ahead and get me a emboss and bevel there. I have to push on the words before it takes effect. You can see that effect there. And I think I'm going to go with a outer. No, I'll go with the inner. I'll change the depth on that a little bit, bring the size up, soften it just a bit, maybe down on the size. And one more thing in here, I'm going to get an outer glow. So I can click on there, click on the words, and I can start first by just making the size like I want it. There's the two different things, the spread and the size. And then I'm going to go in here and change the color. And I think I'll use that color. I'll try to pick around, find something that I like. Pretty indecisive today, I can see. All right, I like that color. That's good. I'm going to say okay. And the opacity of that color, I'm going to bring up a little bit so I can see it a little better. And I'm going to say the size. That's good. Okay, I like that. And I'm going to say okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing a little bit of the copying of the layer styles. And the layer style is everything that I've done to this text so far. So what I want to do, I could go in and I could create all of that new stuff for this word island, but I can just go actually to the effects for the Tybee. I can right click on it and I can say copy layer style. All right. Then I can go to my text where I have island and I can right click and I can go to paste layer style. And it's going to give me all of the things that I did to here. Now there's going to be a little different color because this is, it started out as a different text. So I can go in there actually and double click on the effects and it's going to bring up the effects box. So I can go in and what I want to do is I want to go to the outer glow and I want to change the color of that. So I'm going to make that a little different color. I can go in there. I can say okay. I can change the spread on that. I can change the size. I can do everything that I want to do with that. I'm going to go down to the emboss and bevel. And this time I'm going to go with outer bevel. So that looks a little different. And one more thing, I'll go to this stroke and I'll change the color of the stroke. And I'm just going to go in and just kind of eyeball it and say, you know what, I want that color and I think that's going to work for me. So I'll say okay and then okay. And now without having to go in and actually do everything from scratch, I went in and was able to change this this word without doing it step by step. I copy all of the attributes from the other one. One more thing that I'm going to do here, just to kind of show you, the word island, I don't like that color anymore. So if I can double click on that, go in and change the color. I'm going to make it that color. I think I like maybe that color now. I'm going to say okay, then check the tick there, and that looks a little better to me. All right. I'm going to go in and just do the same thing I did before. This time I'm going to get the effects from this layer, copy layer style. I'll go to Savannah, Georgia. I'll right click paste layer style. And as you can see, that's got that look for me there. Okay, my text is pretty much taken care of. In the next video, I'll go ahead and see what I can get done about these photographs that are in here.